Hello, hello. Good morning. Happy Saturday morning if you are joining me live. So glad to be here. I am Joshua Harrell. If you are new and we have not met, I'm going to take on the label as Chief Travel Marketeer, and I am here today for Travel Marketeering Live, and hopefully you are here live with me. If you are, wherever you are watching this from, please drop down in the comments a little hello, a little what's going on in your neck of the woods. And you can always drop in a TM for travel marketeering as a salutation, as a sort of acknowledgement of goodness or a sign of encouragement. Yeah. Could be a little bit of everything. So excited to be here. I know that the holiday time is very busy for all of us. I've got this show and one more show this year. And then we're going into 2026 with some new things going on. So I can't wait for that. Anyway, if you are new here or if you haven't done it yet, please join our private Facebook group. Just go to Facebook and search Travel Marketeers, not Travel Marketeering, because you'll find our Facebook page, but Travel Marketeers is the private Facebook group. Just asked to be added in there. We'd love to have you there. Right now, I'm running some missions each week to get you to challenge you, to get you thinking of ways that you can really market and sell your travel products and services through systems, and maybe just think about making some cool content on your social channels or on your blog. But you can also find a group of travel marketeers across the globe who just want a place to hang out and share other marketing ideas and ask questions and things like that. So join the community. It's a lot of fun. Love to have you there. All right, I can see the chat is popping off, and I am going to see if I can. It's been a minute, so I have to figure out how to operate my chat. Here we go. So let's see. Heartwarming Travels joins us from Kentucky. TM from Kentucky. TM back at you. And let's see. It's Clay G. Hello, my first WorldVia event. I just received my LLC yesterday. I'm gonna give. Let's see. Do I have some? I've got some confetti and uh, Clay. We do a little something here. It's
Yeah,
called
girl.
it's a British "Yeah, girl" sound effect.
Yeah,
She's been
girl.
around for a while, and it's a sign of encouragement. But congratulations to you. I know that get setting up your business entity is one of those milestones, right? It's something when you're just getting started. It seems so hard. It is not that hard if you haven't done it yet, guys. It's very easy to do, but it is that step to making your business official. So, congratulations to you, and go untouristed. Morning from Little Rock, Arkansas. TM back at you. Glad to see you here. All right, guys. I know other people are going to be joining, and like I said, chat away. I This is not a PowerPoint presentation. This is not where I have so much structure that we can't riff a little bit. And I do love a riff. They're tangents, but somebody coined a term for my tangents, and I can't remember what it was. I feel like it was our Erica, WorldVia Erica. But I want to say it was like magical tangents, phenomenal tangents. I don't know. It was something, and it's not coming to mind. But if you remember, drop it in the chat just to refresh my memory. So today, a little misnomer on the episode today. So our producer Evan, he put in the description that I had planned out for the show that I wanted to do a few months ago, and it was all about high converting website, and very, very important. I talk about it all the time. So a very, very important topic. But I had an epiphany. I, if you know me, you know that I'm not really good at vacationing. I know. I work in travel and I'm terrible at vacationing. So I took a little bit of time off, PTO, PTO. I took that PTO, and I could not do nothing. I could not do nothing. I while I was able to hang at home with my family and my dogs, I could not just watch TV. I wrote a book. which you'll be hearing about soon. And I started thinking about travel marketeering for a couple of years now. I've been talking about it. Our team talks about it. It's it's designed for entrepreneurs. It's the way that we teach how to market and sell your travel products and services through systems. Because as an entrepreneur, you are not only the CEO, you are the CMO, you are the CRO, you are the CFO. You're all the C's, okay? And, while you have to be marketing all the time, the only way you can really effectively market is by creating these systems that you can set up, you can have confidence that they're operating, whether they're automated things or they're just a structured way for you to think about your business for the day, the week, the month, the year. But they're systems that you can tweak the things that are going maybe they're a little challenged. You can turn up the things that are doing well because you want more of the goodness, right? You can replace the gears in your machine, your system, but it's not art. It's not something where you have to pour your magical heart into uh, uh, growing your business. You can create some systems that, especially systems that we have gathered best practices across working with thousands of travel entrepreneurs and advisors. So why reinvent the wheel, guys? We're going to give it to you. So anyway, that being said, I'm in my bedroom. I put a little cafe table in my bedroom so it would feel like I was in Europe, with some of those cobblestones and cafes. And I watched Family Guy. Yeah, that was I could have put on a loop of something very European, and no, I decided to do Family Guy. But it did get me to think about, every week or most weeks, I come to you guys and I talk about these systems. And I know I have all the confidence in the world because I have seen these play out in business after business. And these are not just my creations. These are things that I've seen. I believe that success leaves clues, and I am a professional clue picker upper and sharer. So I'm sharing these best practices, but don't get me wrong. I mean, while I have all the confidence in the world, I know that it's still a lot to manage. So I started thinking about, what do I always talk about? If you've been watching the show for a while, I have some very common themes, right? I have very, very common themes. So whenever I'm having a conversation with an advisor, whether or an agency owner or advisor, if I'm having a conversation with them, whether they are just getting started, haven't even gotten their LLC like Clay has done, so they're in the very, very early stages. They've been doing it for a while, and they're ready to kind of amp things up, or they're really successful. They've reached a level of success and they don't know where they want to go. I always feel very confident that I can kind of diagnose where they're at and give them some areas to work on. And that's really the magic of travel marketeering. It's not, "Oh, I've got the magic power and the magic power is gonna tell me what to do." It's not that. I have seen these things play out, and I like to share where I think you might be at. But at the end of the day, how do you put these things into action, and how do you become the person that can distinguish what thing you need to do more of or you need to do less of so you can work on something else, right? So I developed the Thriving Travel Advisor Blueprint. So if you're already a member of the private Facebook group Travel Marketeers, you got this last week because I couldn't sit on it. I could not wait to talk about it. So I shared it with you guys. I hope you had some time to download it and have a look at it. But today I'm going to talk you through what it is, why it came. Well, I already told you why it came to be, but how it can play a part in your business today. Again, wherever you are in your journey, I believe that this blueprint is the thing that will help you do the good stuff faster. I mean, give me a TM if you want to do the stuff faster in order to grow your business, right? I feel like I don't that's like a rhetorical question. I hope I'm using that word right. But so I'm gonna share the blueprint with you. It's 5 steps. It's 5 steps. So it's simple. It's not easy, right? You still have to put work in, and it is something that if you are the agency owner, it's gonna clearly make sense to you. But sometimes I feel like advisors who work for an agency do not think of themselves as entrepreneurs because they work for their team leader, the business owner. And I want to make sure that my history, I spent 20 years in cosmetics and working at QVC selling cosmetics. I have worked with sales teams of all different sizes. And the some of the strongest salespeople I have ever worked with are the people who work at counters, cosmetic counters in department stores. Okay, now they are not the owner of that company. They're not the owner of the counter, but they are the owner of their book of business. So I'm going to challenge you if you're an advisor who works in an agency. This is about you too. These are things that you can do too to optimize your book of business. This is the thriving travel advisor blueprint. So I hope that as I take you through this, you're going to feel, if anything, I want you to feel like maybe some of the things you know. Maybe you got the book on travel marketeering. Maybe you join Travel Marketeering Live most weekends, right? You've got some of the parts, but maybe there's some other parts that maybe we've glossed over or haven't been the thing that you wanted to focus on. So I'm hoping today I can show this blueprint to you. Like I said, if you go join the Travel Marketeer Facebook group, you can get a download of this. So you can follow along or you can go grab it later. But please, please, please join the group. It's a great place to hang out. But I'm going to take you through this, and I think you're going to be excited. I'm excited, and at the end of the day, don't give me a hard time that I can't do vacation because I can't. And at the end of the day, this is what comes out of me not doing vacation. So I'm going to put up on the screen and then I'm going to pull back a little bit and I'll keep bringing it back up. But let me give you an overview of this. All right. So this is the Thriving Travel Advisor Blueprint, hashtag travel marketeering, all the good stuff. So 5 steps here. All right. If you're looking at this right now and you're excited, can I get a TM in the chat? Yeah, let's see. Oh, Rocky, I see you're there. Okay. So first step, this is not going to be news to you, but I kind of framed it up a little bit differently than I've done it in the past. This is about your ideal customer, right? We talk about this and oh my gosh, is this not the most boring thing to talk about? Yes, it is. Oh, your niche. It's so niching down is so boring to try to isolate. However, it's the most important thing to do. And it doesn't mean you have to do a full dissertation on it. There's some tips here that I think is going to help you get there faster. Now, I'm going to go through all the steps here. So once you've got this example of what you're looking for, what you do, then I absolutely need you to become known for travel. So I'm gonna talk about the guidelines because no matter what, whenever I talk about doing things like social media, going live or whatever, people are like, how many times? I'm telling you what it is. Okay, so I need you to become known for travel. I'll come back and talk about this. And then the step 3 is you need some clear actions that say, I'm open to planning a trip with you. Now, some of these are obvious, but I want to talk about the things that I think are low hanging fruit that I feel like so many advisors are missing, and you can be ahead of the game. So, step 3 is all about trip ready signals. And then step 4 is the booking pathway, a simple, repeatable journey from lead to booked client. And I want to talk about how you look at what you do today and how you can make it better, how you can improve upon it. And then step 5 is exactly what I talk about in travel marketing all the time. It's about doing more of what's already working and on purpose. So the things that are doing good, you need to turn up the volume. So like I said, this whole blueprint is available for you on our Travel Marketeers Facebook group. So you can go and get the download. Don't worry about having that or taking fierce notes. But I want to talk you through some of the details of each of these steps. So can I get a TM for 5 steps? Can we all do 5 steps? I I mean, I was racking my brain on this, but I'm like, I feel like everybody can do 5 steps, and they can also um, share 5 steps pretty easy. So I think I'm gonna believe that you guys can do it. I have faith in you. All right. So let me break this down a little bit. And you guys, if you are new here and you see me do this, it's because I am in my garage studio, and it is not temperature controlled. So yeah, it is a little bit chilly here in Atlanta today. So if you see that, it's not just because I'm like, oh, Scrooge McDucking it in the coins. No, it is I am chilly. All right. So step one, marquee travel win. All right. So this is I wanted to give it a label because whenever I do travel marketeering camp, whenever we talk about this in travel marketeering live, when we talk about finding your or identifying your ideal customer or your avatar, um, and it's I feel like it's the thing that's not exciting, and and you guys are like, "Ugh, you know what? I already know, like, I want people who buy river cruises. That's who I want." But that's not a person you can identify. You need to kinda you gotta tease it out. You gotta figure out who is your ideal customer. What do they look like? What do they surround themselves with? So, for the marquee travel win, I wanted to take, for those of you who have been in business and you sell travel, I want you to just sit here right now and I want you to think about the good customers, right? The good customers. It might not be in your niche. They fell into your path some kind of way, and you were like, you know what? That was a lovely human being to work with, and, while it might not be the product that I want to sell, it is it's I want more of them. I want more of them, and thank you. I see the TMs coming, Michael. I see the TM there. So, I want more of that. So for you who have sold travel before, you've got the people who cost you more to work with than you made on them, and then you've got the people who were so profitable, they were so easy to work with, and easy not just being, it was easy to book the trip and get them on their way, but it just felt good, like they valued you, and it just made you feel good about being their travel advisor. So, for those of you who have sold travel before, I want you to take a snapshot of those people, and it could be different people. And I don't want you to get overwhelmed with, did I sell them the thing that I'm niching in? I don't want you to think about that because there's some personality traits that you want to kind of imagine as you're thinking of this, and starting to build out the profile of who you're looking for. Now, I wanted to call it your marquee because on the marquee in the theater, there might be so many different shows and performances. There might be so many star or performers, but on the marquee, there might be a few stars, and there is a play that is the main one on the marquee. So I get this question a lot. If I niche down, will I block all the other customers that might want to work with me that I could still sell and I could still make money on? You don't block them. You just become known for the thing that you want to sell. And that is how you can start to take up space in people's minds. If they know that you're the cruise girl or the cruise guy, okay? They know that that's you. Now, you might sell tour, and that's okay. But to attract customers, they need to be able to figure out easily. They need to categorize you very easy. So on the marquee, you're putting, I'm the cruise guy, I'm the cruise girl. But behind the scenes, if one of your customers that cruise with you wants to do a tour, You could do that. There's no problem. It's really about your positioning. It's not necessarily about these rules that you set. Now, you might hear um, advisors decide that they no longer want to do certain types of travel because it's time consuming, it's not a passion for them, it's not profitable for them. But they learn that over time. Don't I always say get going, then get smart, then get good. Stop trying to get to good and skipping all the steps, right? So get going. What do you want to put on the marquee? Who are you trying to attract? So the first thing in this the marquee travel win is who are the travelers you want more of? And name them. If it's Suzanne, if it's Mary, if it's Michael, whoever it is, right? Just name them. Who are those? This is gonna help you kinda distill down into what your marquee is. And then think about what is the transformation they experienced. And I know that that might seem so out there. It might seem so magical, grab my crystals and make something happen here. Um but it's not, because the transformation, we talk about this a lot in storytelling. And you think about movies and the hero journey, there's some transformation that happens, right? And that's the story that we all get invested in. When your travelers are traveling with you and they experience the world or they experience moments with each other, there's so many different things here. I can't name them all, right? That is a transformation. It's not that all of a sudden they did a Madonna reinvention, right? She's done many of those over the years, but I'm just saying it's not that. It doesn't have to be that big. It could be, but it doesn't have to be that big. But what's the transformation that was created by this trip that you put together? And I want you to think about that because I'm sure you heard these stories, right? Like multi-gen trips where grandma has put together the trip. She realizes that this is the only way she wants to travel in the future, because the trip that you put together for her allowed her to not only connect with her grandkids, but her children and her husband in a different way, right? So it doesn't have to be this magical story, fireworks are shooting off, but I know you have them there. I know there's a transformation, and it could be experiencing a culture. Maybe you're very big into cultural travel, and somebody had a place on their bucket list. They wanted to tick the box that they went there, but they had no idea that traveling to this place was going to reignite their passion for art and creativity. I mean, I'm giving you just random things because I want to poke and prod you to think about these transformations that your travelers have experienced with you. And I also want you to think, okay, now you're thinking about these lovely humans that you've been able to serve. I want you to think about these transformations that you created, but then I want you to take a step further. I want you to come up with how you created that result. Okay. Now, this might be completely foreign to you. You're like, this is not the woo woo stuff I do, right? A client wants to do this. I go and find the best product for them. I deliver it to them in a nice, beautiful package. They decide to buy, and then I hopefully get to serve them again, right? If that's your way of thinking, that's okay. That's absolutely okay. I just want you to go with me on this journey a little bit, because what I want to do is put in lights. What is your story? What is your brand about? This is really about your brand strategy. And I believe you know what you did, and it might not have been intentional. Let's be honest. Many of you have had breakthrough success in different areas because you kind of fell into it. Maybe you reached out to a BDM with the partner you were, putting this trip together with, and the BDM unlocked, almost like a video game, unlocked your superpowers just because you were in that space. You had a question that you asked, it sparked them to say this. I love that serendipity that happens when you're working with our partners. But how did you create that result? How did that happen? And I know you have a way that came to be. And again, it doesn't have to be magical. It doesn't have to be that it only ever happened to you, but I want you to be intentional about defining what that was, because all of this, the people, the transformation, the magic, the secret sauce, that becomes the foundation of your message. And in your brand strategy, that is so important. It's your positioning, it's who you're looking for, it's who you serve, it's what you do. But I believe that if you really think about this in this way, you're going to come up with your marquee travel win. This is what you do, this is what you deliver. It's seeing your name in lights, and it could be your personal name or it could be your company's name, right? But if you can define this and think about it in this very show stopping, or I guess it's sidewalk stopping, sidewalk walking, if sidewalks talked, I don't know. But think about seeing your name in lights and attracting your ideal customer. That's what I want you to package up in your marquee. So I see Rocky in the chat. He just put TM, no cruises in Caribbean here at Flights and Fables. So at his business, he is going to turn those away, or he's going to connect them to people within his network that he knows does that very well. So he's clearly signaling what he does with his brand, and he's not taking on more. But that does not have to be you. If you want to put out um, that you do I'm sorry, I always draw a blank when I come up with an example. Costa Rican adventures, and that is what you put on your marquee. Everyone who is searching for that, everyone who is investigating you vetting you to see if you can service their Costa Rican adventure, they're going to understand what you do. Now, after they do that adventure with you, maybe they don't want to go back, but they loved working with you. And if you want to service their European river cruise, then you can. And that's a brilliant way to nurture your customer and create lifetime value. You don't have to, but you can. And many advisors do. But the problem I have run into is so many people are so worried about putting on their marquee, I sell this and I serve this group of people, because they're worried that they're going to miss out money, potential revenue, by people who want other things. The thing is, you cannot promote your brand and be everything to everybody, or you're going to be nothing to no one, right? So that's where this marquee travel win comes in. So I'm going to pop over to the blueprint. So you can see on the blueprint, I've just bulleted out everything I just said. So if you don't want to do this right now, if it's just you're going down a journey through your brain, that's okay. But you can go to the private Facebook group, Travel Marketeers, and you can download this and you can work through this. Now, I want to talk about step two. And step two is become known for travel. And this is something I have talked about since 2018. You've got to be known for travel. If people in your own circles do not know that you are travel, that is the very first thing you need to accomplish. Because I'm going to tell you, not only does it just make good brand strategy sense, I'm going to tell you, I have heard just very sad stories about advisors who have been in the game for a while, and they are at the Christmas party, and they find out that somebody booked a cruise with somebody else, because that person did not even know that the advisor sold travel. That person sold travel. So a friend of theirs sold travel. So being known for travel serves you in many, many ways. So I want you to consistently signal that you sell travel, who you serve. And when I say who you serve, that's your customers, right? You could say, oh, I'll serve anyone. Yeah. Are you going to serve everyone well? are there certain people that you're just made for? And that's what I mean by who you serve. And then, of course, what you're known for. If it's flights and fables, and it's travel that is all around imagination and adventure and things like that, then that's what you're known for. If it's not Disney princesses, then, it's not. You wanna signal that you sell travel, who you serve, and what you're known for. Now, I wanna give you an example of the who you serve because I I've been talking about this for a long time, and it's not only in travel, but I mean, it's just all around. You need to know who your future clients are. Um, and one of our members, Laura, she's a brilliant marketer, travel marketeer. I love it. I love what she does, but she went on a journey in starting her business. She started her business one way, and then as she got more confident and more experience under her belt, then she started to hone in on a richer niche for her. And what I loved about that is I hear that all the time, but she knew exactly who she served. And so she serves that busy executive mom, not the dad, the mom, because that is like her skill set is perfect for it. The way that she plans trips for families, she she seriously takes care of all the details and clearly communicates those details to where someone the mom in a family who is a very busy executive, she knows everything is taken care of, and she and her family, with the limited time she gets with them on a holiday, the limited time she gets with them is going to be cram pack full of everything that you would wanna do. So, husband, is going to get the best out of this vacation, and the kids are gonna get out of the best of this vacation, and when this executive mom goes on this vacation, she can unplug, and she can fully get involved and engage in her vacation with her family. So, Laura knew that is who she served well. Now, I'm gonna speak for Laura because 'cause I'm just gonna jump into her skin here and pretend I'm in her space, but her ideal customer, I kinda painted a picture, right? It's definitely an executive mom with a family, so it's somebody who's so busy, who doesn't like to get into the weeds of things, but wants to know that everything is taken care of. So, somebody who wants to sit sidecar and do the vacation planning with Laura might not be a good fit. I'm sure Laura could handle it, but that's not who she truly serves. She can serve that, but who she wants to attract more of are those busy moms who will turn over the budget and what they want to have happen, and Laura will take care of all the details. So specific. So, having preached that a little bit, I want you to think about, who do you resonate the best with? Who do you want somebody are you do you love working sidecar with a client who wants to do research with you? I don't know many advisors who do want that, or who love that, but maybe that's your thing. Maybe part of your thing is, you love working with solo travelers, and what you love crafting for them is a very immersive experience where they feel reasonably safe at all times. I mean, we want them to be safe. I just say reasonably safe because some people are, wanting to jump out of airplanes. So I'm just going to throw that in there. But that is a different person than Laura's ideal customer who she serves, right? So I'm just trying to give you some examples. You have somebody you in mind that you believe is the right fit for you. Now, going back to that marquee travel win, I didn't hit this, but if you are just getting started, okay, success leaves clues. So look at similar agencies or similar advisors, see who they're talking to. If they sell what you want to sell or they're in your your vein, then look at what you can glean from say their social media or their website. If they are good at their travel marketeering, they've identified who they serve. And if you don't have that information firsthand, you can start to glean that from other sources. Another source that I would tap into is if you know the products you want to work with. Your BDMs, their job is to help you grow your business. So they do know and most of them have the studies behind it to back it up. They know probably age, income, where they live, what they do. They probably have all those details to help you identify who you serve. Now, in your brand strategy, in the blueprint, you're not going to call out all those demographics. You're going to find creative ways to speak about those people so they can see that you serve them. Okay, so become known for travel is making sure that you signal that you sell travel and don't be apologetic about it, okay? Who you serve and what you're known for. Now, the first component of being known, and you've heard me say this before, but what I've done on the blueprint here is I have said exactly what I want you to do. So don't argue with me because I've already just said this is what I want you to do. So if you do more or you do less, that's on you, boo. I'm telling you, this is what if everybody would do this, and most people will not. If everybody will do this, I can feel you will start to see movement in your business. All right, so first is to show up. So you need to show up. This is going to be that social media content. So there have been studies done, okay, that I'm going to blow your mind. It takes approximately 11 touch points within 90 days for you to get on somebody's radar. And this could be somebody you know, but they don't necessarily know you in your travel space, in your travel identity. So it's approximately 11 touch points, one primary platform. Now that doesn't mean you can't repurpose your content on other platforms, but your strategy needs to be focused on one primary platform, and that's going to be TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. And guys, before you even challenge me on TikTok, you are missing out if you are not there. I am seeing advisors going live on TikTok and with no great fanfare, and they are connecting with an audience that they would have never found, well, probably would have never found otherwise. So, right now, this is a wide open space and people are getting clued into it. And I want you to be clued into it. Clue picker upper right here, sharer. I'm sharing it with you. So, TikTok would be a preference from my perspective, but if Facebook is a place that you feel comfortable with, if YouTube Live is a place you feel comfortable with, none of those are wrong. I'm just saying don't avoid TikTok because you think that's just for kids. It's not. It is taking over the way that we are consuming entertainment. So let me pop back here. So you want to have 3 to 5 short videos or posts per week. All right. So think about this. Approximately 11 touch points in 90 days, one primary platform. We're looking for 3 to 5 short videos or posts per week. All right. This means please just do video. Yes, the posts are great. I love a post, but video capturing you and how you show up in the world, it's a beautiful thing. But I'll take a post for you to get started. I think here, what if you are not doing this level of content today, I think what you'll find is the consistency the frequency in creating content and being consistent with um, delivering that content, you're going to start to see activity. It's not necessarily going to be bookings, right? It's not going to be right to the bottom of your funnel impact, but you're going to see an interaction with an audience. You might be building an audience, but you're going to start to see it with this amount of content. Video to me is just the way that you're going to get there faster. People are going to be able to connect with you as a human being. I know it's scary, but it works. And if just look for travel advisors on TikTok and watch some of the video content, it is not very polished. It is real, it is authentic, and it makes me want to talk to these advisors. So I want you to be there. All right. The next part of this is you want to stick around. So, yes, the short video is good, the short posts are good, but long form video, really that content gets makes people feel like they know you. They get to know you. They get intrigued by you with the short form, but the long form content is where they really get to know you. I hope you feel like you're getting to know me here. I mean, this is how I talk. Rocky can back me up. This is exactly how I talk. So, if you were doing the same thing, if you were talking about destinations that you love, itineraries that you love, um, you're going to allow people to get to know you and make a decision to follow you and continue to receive information from you, and I'll be more likely to purchase from you or pull the trigger and talk to you. Raise my hand, right? Um, so more studies have been done to just back this up. So they need to consume 2 to 7 total hours over weeks or months to take action. Now, doesn't that blow your mind? You're like, "What? I thought my one long form video would be enough." It isn't. This is a whole universe of creating a universe around you to be known for travel. So long form content it's video is my number one, but it can be blogs, it can be ebooks, it can be downloadables, the checklists that you've created. It can be email sequences. So it doesn't even need to be a social media thing. But you need to get people consuming content from you, and the studies have shown it's between 2 to 7 total hours that they're consuming over weeks or months, before they're ready to take action. And taking action could be, just even subscribing to get your emails, right? Let alone, "Hey, I wanna submit an inquiry to talk, further or schedule an appointment with you," right? So this is work, but I wanna reverse what I just said. So if it's all about making sure that you've got content so you can stick around, take that long form content that you create and break it down into that short form content. So I know I'm unpacking it in the opposite way. I'm saying start with short form content and then work up to long form content. But efficiency here would be start with your long form content, whether it's blogs, email sequences, then webinars, then figure out what you can chop up and create social content for, right? And that short form content. So you're not having to do it is work, but you're not having to create everything as unique pieces of content. If you don't create that long form content, you're going to be constantly playing catch up. You're going to spend a lot of time on the short form content, and saying, "Oh, I'll get to that webinar someday." The webinar is where the magic is going to happen. You're going to have more content for people to consume to get closer or faster to the 2 to 7 hours of total content. So we're looking in terms of the long form content and really being able to stick around. We're looking for being consistent with lives, whether that is YouTube Live, Facebook Live, TikToks. Live is something that you need to embrace. It's the number one piece of advice I would give any advisor, because right now it's wide open space, and the people who are doing this are seeing success faster than those who are not embracing it. So I want to see you do live, heartwarming travels. I see you there asking me about webinars. What's a webinar example? Well, since I'm at the webinars piece, then let me tell you. So getting Zoom, which is a very easy webinar platform to use, and the reason why you want a webinar platform is it creates a lead capture page where, they register for the webinar, they get an email reminder for the webinar, and then you get a list of everybody who registered and everybody who came to the webinar. This is a conversion tool. These are the people that you want to email afterwards, or you want to make sure they're a part of your audience. So I love a good webinar. So for webinar examples, let me blow your mind here, because it's the same with the lives, but the webinars with lives, you're just creating the content and people are discovering you. Some of your followers will watch, but people are discovering you. If you can use those to point people over to webinars, then you can capture them and get their email address and start to communicate to them in a more intentional way. But a webinar example is so simple. You know what you want to sell, you know what you're passionate about. You might be an expert in a destination or a type of travel. You are the expert. And you might say to me, Joshua, I am not the expert. There are people that know more than I do about this topic. And then I would say, you stop it, because you know more than the people who are coming across you for the most part, right? So, yes, there might be someone who knows everything about everything. You don't have to be that person. You know more than the people you're speaking to for the most part. So, I want you to take your passion and the things that you love to talk about. You love to talk about the ins and outs of a day at Paris. You love to talk about traveling with kids that have disabilities, right? You love to talk about adventure travel and couples staying in sync when everyone is when both of them are not on the same page when it comes to adventure travel, right? I'm just giving you some absurd examples. Create webinars where you can talk for at least 30 minutes without anybody even asking questions, right? You can talk for 30 minutes, but it is a very pointed topic. It isn't just Paris, right? It's how to make the most out of a day in Paris. I'm just giving you an example, right? Then that means that you could do other topics from Paris. How to eat your way around Paris. How to live like a king in Paris for free. I'm riffing here, guys. I'm just trying to inspire some ideas. Create these webinars, and I'd love for you to do a weekly webinar, because what else are you going to do? You're waiting for business to happen. Set these appointments up, or these calendar events up. Make sure they're on your website, they're on your Facebook page, and then on your lives and on your social posts, you're constantly promoting, hey, join me this week for my webinar on eating your way around Paris. Right? We're gonna have a great time. We're gonna talk about this, this, and this, and I'm gonna highlight a partner that I work with that creates these amazing experiences. I'm and you know what? Maybe you even reach out to your BDM and they participate in the webinar with you. They would love that. Their title is BDM, Business Development Manager. They would like to work with you on these things. So, if you create this, and now I will say, if you haven't done them before, your audience might be an audience of one, and you have to be okay with that. You showing up on a regular basis is going to, I promise you, is going to get traction. If you do the things that I've been talking about, you have that marquee travel win, you are doing everything you can to become known for travel, and you're creating this vehicle for you to showcase your expertise, you're going to see activity. You are definitely going to see activity. And it becomes a part of your your news, right? It becomes a part of your story. So I've been doing travel marketing live for, oh my goodness, it feels like maybe about a year and a half, and I do it most Saturdays. I don't do it every Saturday, but it is not my job. Like, it's not my job to host this. Is not That's not. I'm not supposed to do this. I want to do this. I think more people in my circle, my network of influence, the people who follow me on social media, my friends, my family, they are more connected to the fact that most Saturdays I do travel marketeering than they are to the fact that I am a chief revenue officer at WorldVia Travel Network. And that's A-okay, because I don't need them to tell other people that I'm a chief revenue officer. I need them to tell people that I talk about travel marketeering on a regular basis. It's my passion. It's the thing that I want to be known for. And it gives them something to cling to, attach to, and be able to help me, um, attract my audience, right? You having webinars and your friends and family seeing this, you're gonna signal that you are travel, and you're gonna signal, and I think if you're somebody who doesn't step into that role, step into that power of being the expert in something, it feels very weird when someone's been secretly behind the scenes paying attention to what you're doing in terms of these webinars and what you speak on. When maybe you're at a gathering and they tell somebody new to your world, oh, that you're the expert on Paris, and she talks about it every week. She does webinars about this. It feels weird, but it also feels kind of good. And that is that momentum that you want to see. So I hope that helps you start to think about what you could do webinars for. Honestly, if there is an email that you send to your inquiries on a regular basis where you're showcasing your expertise, I bet you have topics that you can talk about. And it doesn't need to be a PowerPoint presentation. It could be like this, just you and me talking, right? And I just know that I'm gonna explain, here's the travel advisor blueprint. So I'm gonna go through these steps. What you ask questions about, of course I'm gonna answer your questions, right? And that's the beautiful thing is if you create a space where you're speaking from your heart, and if you have a guest like a BDM or a past client, that would be lovely. That's a beautiful thing. Because if everybody's speaking from their heart, people will ask questions or people will send signs of encouragement. When you guys send me a TM when I'm talking about something, and sometimes I get really, really passionate about something, it it makes me feel good, but it also makes me feel like, okay, the message is landing. I might want to go deeper in this particular area, or we're good here. I'm going to move on. That kind of engagement is super, super powerful. And if you are not doing webinars today, when you start, I can't wait to see what it feels like on the other side, because I know what it feels like, and it's magical. It's very simple and easy for you to activate webinars. Zoom is not a very expensive tool to have if you're going to use it once a week. It is very affordable. It's easy to use. It's super powerful too. And like I said, get started on your own and then tap your BDMs, because as long as you can they don't need to have 700 people on a webinar. They could have 7 people, as long as it's people you're doing everything you can to be known for travel, because they do that. If you ask to do a cruise night or something like that, or one of these webinars, they will go and look at your website. They'll go look at your social media. If you are not doing what you need to be doing to be known for travel, it doesn't matter about your number of followers and things like that, or even your sales. They wanna help people who are helping themselves. So webinars, webinars, webinars. Um, email sequences. We talk about email sequences a good bit. If you're a member of WorldVia Travel Network, you get email plus. If someone subscribes to your email list, you can create an email sequence to constantly unlock your knowledge and your expertise. You can go to infinity with those emails. There's nothing that suppresses it, but a nice 7 email sequence after someone subscribes, and you just each email sequence you unlock a little bit more. Maybe you put a little video in there so they get to know you. Maybe you link to your social media, but you just keep unlocking your story. That is a great way to give content for your audience to just get deeper into you, and also get them closer to taking an ultimate action with you. Now, I've got something that I want to talk about here, that I've seen work in many businesses, and I've heard many experts talk about this. And it's something that I wanted to make sure I included in this blueprint because many of you do this, but I don't know if it's as intentional as it could be. So, the next component of uh, of of the being known for travel, sorry, is who do you stand beside? So you want to visually align with the right brands. Now, this is where it's pretty obvious, right? You have your key suppliers that you work with, they match your niche. Cruising, you might work with Royal Caribbean, NCL, Carnival. I mean, it just whatever brands that you want to work with that help reinforce what you do. So you want to make sure that through your content, whether it's on your website, whether it's on social media, that you're constantly signaling that you've got these 4 key suppliers around your world. And it isn't necessarily saying I partner with Royal Caribbean. It isn't saying that, like being that blatant. It's making sure that you've got content around Royal Caribbean. You're using assets that Royal Caribbean's created, and those come into your social feeds on a regular basis. Or when you're doing your webinar, you're talking about Royal Caribbean. So it's just making sure that's infused because people like to be able to categorize people, right? We all know this. A subtle clue to your niche is making sure that it's very clear in your messaging which partners you work with, so they can help you. If they're luxury partners and you sell luxury, it helps elevate you. It helps people clearly connect that you are luxury. If you are theme parks and family vacations, there are some clear brands that you can stand beside so people can see who you are. Sorry, my nose itched. Um, so I want to give you a mission. I want you to find 4 key suppliers that support your niche, support what you do, and I want to make sure that they're visible in some way through your blog, your website, your email sequence, your webinars, your social media. I want to make sure that you've got 4 key suppliers, and you might have 45 key suppliers, but I want you to distill it down to 4 key suppliers and make sure that they're infused in everything. Not everything, not every post. I'm just saying in your universe, your online footprint, people can see that you're aligned with these 4 key suppliers. And then the next thing that's a part of this who you stand beside, because people take cues from who you stand beside. They absolutely do. So I want you to have 2 industry affiliations that is very prominent on your website, maybe occasionally through social media content you share through your blog. It doesn't have to stand out as much as I'd like to see those 4 key suppliers. But let me tell you what the industry affiliations do. It helps elevate you as a professional. They're also very important associations to be a part of or be affiliated with. And the ones I think of are ASTA. I think of CLIA. Those are the 2 main ones that I think about, and there's others out there. There's absolutely others that just signal that you are a professional in this industry. Now, Does that matter for everybody to see the logo, or I'm a proud member of ASTA? Does it work for everybody? No, it doesn't. Some people don't care, but there are people that it does matter. That's a part of how they vet you, that you are a part of your industry. You're not just playing in the industry, that you are participating in your industry. And some people, it's not intentional, like they're not looking for those stamps, but it gives some confidence subliminally that will serve you. So in total, I'm looking for 6 brands that are in your universe, that they don't have to be every single social post, every single email, but you are intentional about, I've got 4 key suppliers and 2 industry affiliations. If you're a member of WorldVia Travel Network, you can say affiliated with WorldVia Travel Network. That is an industry affiliation that can help elevate you, and you that's definitely something you can use if you want. I do believe that and I was late to being a member of ASTA and CLIA, but I will say that those 2 industry affiliations do inform me and do make me feel clued in to my industry. So that's who you stand beside. People do take cues. So if you show up with making sure that you have enough short form content out there for people to discover you and engage with you and see what you do, and then you stick around with that long form content, and then you stand beside these brands that help people connect you to your niche and what you do. These are the foundational elements to becoming known for travel. So I need you to go there with me. Okay. Can I get a TM for that? Are you guys liking this? Are you feeling like you are the wheels turning? Do you have a little bullet list of things that you're going to do this weekend or the next 7 days? I let me know. Let me know in the chat if you're there. Now, going through step 3. So step 3 are the trip ready signals. Okay. So your job, after you've established who you are, what your business is, you are known for travel. Your job is to make it easy to raise a hand. So out of your audience, okay? And this is really important. Don't think I just created this blueprint and I was like, okay, there's a blueprint. I need a blueprint. No, it's not about that. I'm telling you, honest to goodness, these are the things that I talk about, whether I was talking about travel or I'm talking about a consumer brand. To me, I this was my epiphany while I was on vacation, is to make this easier to understand. I need you to grow an audience. I need you to attract people into your email list, into your social media, into your universe. And I need you to make it easy for them to raise a hand and say, yes, I want to take the next step. It's almost like being on a dating platform and you're like, well, you weren't on the dating platform. And you're like, I should I want to date. So what should I do? Because I'm sitting in my garage on a Saturday and I don't have any plans. So I really would like a date, but I'm not on a dating app or a way to meet people. So the first thing I'm gonna do to get people to raise their hand to say they wanna date me is I'm gonna get on a dating app. So I'm gonna make sure that you can find me, and I'm sending the signal that so you can send the signal and say, "Hey, I wanna date you." Right? I'm being ridiculous here, but I'm being ridiculous because I wanna make sure, I'm giving you a blueprint here. I wanna make sure that I'm telling you things that you'll actually put into motion, okay? I want you to put these things in motion. I want you to understand it because I hear so many people spend time on their logos, on their website, but and all those things are important, but your logo, you don't even need a logo to be in business. You don't need a logo to sell travel. You need people to be able to know that you are travel, that you do travel, and that you need to make it you need to make a way for them to say, "Hey, I'd like to work with you." So, those are the things. You can get the logo later. I mean, honestly, and I am a brand strategist to the core. I would love for you to have the logo first, but I'm just saying it isn't the thing that you need, and I know people who spend months not selling travel because they're working on logos and they're trying to see if their colors look good. That's all great, but you don't have a business if you don't have sales. So, please listen to me here. So, we need clear actions that say, I'm open to planning a trip with you. Okay. The most obvious one is on your website having a trip planning form and getting submissions there. So everybody should have something, a call to action, a multiple calls to action on their website that gets your audience, the visitors to your website to be able to fill out some information, send it to you. They want to start talking about planning a trip with you, and you've got some details there. Something else that can be a signal, and not to me, a trip inquiry form or scheduling a meeting with you. Those are people who are saying, I'm seriously ready to start talking. I may not buy, but still, I'm more ready to buy than the person who's just getting your emails. Okay. But another way to get someone to raise their hand is when you put together, you think about these webinars that I was talking about. Every webinar you can take the transcription, put it into an AI tool like Avia, the WorldVia AI business partner, or you could use a Chat GPT or Perplexity. You can take the transcription and say, "Hey, I did this webinar on something I'm very knowledgeable about. I'm the expert in. Can you turn this into an ebook for me?" And I bet you'll come up with some copy for an ebook or just a white paper that is highly valuable and very professional. And that is something that you can put on your website and say, "Hey, give me your email address, and I will send you my guide to eating your way around Paris in a day," something like that, right? Having things like that are a great way for you to find out of everybody in your audience who would be interested in that. So it's another, I'm open to planning a trip with you. They didn't fill out an inquiry form, but something said, you know what, I think a download guide would be very helpful for me. I'm just saying, if I wanted to go to Yosemite, I'm not downloading a white paper or an ebook about eating my way around Paris. So what does that tell you? This person's thinking about Paris right now. Hmm. Raising hand, raising hand. Of course, we got those webinar registrations. Love that. I also love email replies with trip questions. Okay. So this is something that is kind of obvious, but many people, when they're talking about doing a broadcast email, like your monthly newsletter that they're sending out to their email list, um, this is it's simple, but some people don't think about it. Um, you you send out these monthly emails or maybe even weekly emails, right? And you send it out to everybody on your list. And that could be 3, that could be 300. It doesn't matter. There's no judgment here. Just please be sending out an email newsletter, okay? But if your style of email newsletter is a little more conversational, like if I'm doing a newsletter and I'm like, "Hey, this week I want to talk about this, this, and this, da 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 da." So I make it more like a letter. I have some photos in there. Maybe I have a video. Maybe in the video I do this as well. But I say, "Hey, if you have any questions or if I can help you at all in working on your 2026 spring vacation, just reply and let me know." Right? Those that conversation style email uh, gets results. It does. It might not happen every single time, but there are people who will reply to those emails, and those replies where they're asking about planning a trip, guess what? Raise my hand. But I don't get that opportunity I don't have that's not a trip ready signal if I'm not sending those email newsletters to get those responses. So you need to do that. But that is something that I've heard over and over again, advisors being surprised about. They're sending out their newsletter and they send their newsletter about Paris, and somebody replies back and says, "You know what? I'm so glad that you emailed because I really want to plan a trip to Australia." And they're like, "Well, that's not what I emailed about." It doesn't matter. Your email got you on your audience's radar. So take it. That is somebody raising their hand and saying, "Hey, I want to talk to you." You see how all of this connects? It is an ecosystem, a system, right? Travel marketeering. It's all about systems to market and sell your travel products and services, right? So I'm giving you the good stuff. Like I said, the downloadable is available on the Facebook group. So go sign up for that. After the show, I'll go and accept people, and I know Drea on our team does that during the week. So make sure you make it easy for your audience to raise their hand to say that they're ready for trips. Um, Clay said, I love this. Clay just said in the chat, he said, "We are so in sync. I was just thinking how all of this applies to dating apps." Thank you, Clay, because I think you're the first person in the years that I've been doing this that has agreed with me. Because every time I talk about this, I feel like this is advice for dating as well. Like it's just a strategy for amplifying, "Hey, this is what I want. This is what I do." And you need to put yourself out there, right? That's what they always say. Son, you need to put yourself out there. Well, we're putting ourselves out there. All right. So let's go back to the blueprint and get to step 4. So this right here, this is your booking pathway. So this is a simple, repeatable journey from lead to book client. So the way that I build mini pipelines for advisors, okay, and you can build this way in your CRM, is you've got your leads. Those are the people who have first raised their hand and said, "Hey, I'm interested in talking to you about a trip." Then you've got conversations. So you're in these conversations. Some of them are quick turnaround conversations. They say, "I want to do a trip. There's 4 of us going, blah, 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 blah. We want to go to Ireland, da, 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 da. This is our budget." And those are quick conversations. Some of them are long conversations. They're going to extend over weeks and months. And it's really just they're getting to know you, you're getting to know them, they're pondering things. So it's hard to kind of put a time limit on conversations, but you're in discussions. So the leads are new people, you haven't really met them yet, you don't know them. Conversations, you're in dialogue with them. Proposals, it's exactly what it says. This is the stage where we are building um we're building the proposal, we're going back and forth, we're refining it, but this is the point that you're building the product that you're selling to your client. And this is also the point where they say, "Yes, I am ready to book this with you." Okay, and we love that when that happens. That's a good oops
Yeah, girl.
that's a good yeah girl there. So we love when that happens. But that you're going to be in conversations a good bit before you start putting together proposals. Well, I say a good bit. I want to make sure you have all the conversations you need to have before you just start running proposals. I have seen advisors where they do an inquiry form on their website and they get a lot of details, and before they even talk to the potential client, they are working on the proposal. And I would just say hold back a little bit until you have a conversation. Find out if this is a good fit. Find out if this is the right type of customer to be working with you. And they need to feel you out first, because you're going to spend a lot of time doing work building a proposal, and you don't even know if this is really a viable customer to work with. So make sure you don't take every lead and you skip the conversation stage. Make sure you spend some time in the conversation stage. And like I said, it could be quick. You can make those decisions pretty quick, but I just want to make sure you're having a conversation before you go to proposal, because the proposals do take time. Now, I have seen where a lead comes in, they've booked time with you, and they want to book a specific trip at a specific time. There's some details. And I have seen a lot of value in the advisor going and doing a little overview, like a flying visit through a proposal, or look at a partner's site to just get an idea of pricing and some of the things that they might want to ascertain from the client before they get to the proposal stage, and that's a-okay. I just I wanna avoid you taking an inquiry from your website and then spending a lot of time before you've actually had a conversation. That can not go wrong, but in some cases, I think you'll find it'll be a waste of time because you maybe you never ever get in touch with that client and you've done so much work for them already. So, a little cautious about that. So in the booking pathway, and you can call your buckets different things. This is just a very simplified pipeline for an advisor: leads, conversations, proposals, bookings. Right? The bookings are when they're actually your customers, and you're just kind of working to finalize all the details of the bookings before the client is all set. Right? But I ask you in this stage of the blueprint to define each stage the way I just did. If you like my definition, then go with it. But if you have some other ones, I just want you to talk it through, write it down, build it in your CRM, or if you're using an Excel spreadsheet or a notebook, have the buckets labeled what you think they should be. Because in the base it, if you've been in business and you've got clients that you've got in different stages, put everybody in there, because I want you, once you've defined each stage and you're gonna commit to this is how you're gonna operate within the booking pathway. I want you to then take some time out. It doesn't have to be a lot of time, but take some time out. I'm very big on continuous improvement. So you got to be aware of what's good, what's bad. Remember this machine that you're building around travel marketeering. Sometimes you have to replace a cog. Sometimes you have to tweak some things. So I want you to track where people get stuck. I know you're like, nobody gets stuck. I haven't even gotten a lead yet. And if you haven't actually started attracting leads, then maybe this isn't something you're going to spend a lot of time initially. But when those first leads start coming in, do they ever make it to conversations? Do the conversations ever make it to proposals? If they do, is it quick? Or, is the customer confused at all? Do they have to send you a lot of emails before things, can start moving? Do you not get enough information in your conversations? So, the reason why I put this in here is because everyone can improve. I was watching, Emma Grade, or Greed, I think her name, she goes by. She's a famous entrepreneur, clothing line, and she does a lot of, content online. And she she talks about she's obsessed with, her client experience, so much so that even though I'm sure she can get all the free samples of the product she wants, she always pays full price. She always shops online. I wanna say I heard her say recently she makes a purchase on her website once a month because she wants to know how the product looks. She wants to know how easy it was to find what she wanted or what was merchandised to her. She wants to know about, how in the know did she feel in the process of, once the order was processing to shipping to arriving at her house, what it felt like to open the package. And I love that. I want you to be obsessed with your booking pathway. And that to me is really you honing in on your service delivery and being very intentional about what you do. And hey, I know when things go wrong, we always know we're going to fix that. We're going to smooth that over. But get ahead of that and be obsessed with your process and your client's experience, and take a breather and just sit and look and say, "You know what? I don't have a problem in my leads. I do have a problem in the proposals, going from conversation to proposals. How could I do that different? So, how could you improve your calls? How could you improve your follow-ups? How can you improve your proposals? Maybe you do these beautiful proposals and they still don't close. Why? Why don't they close? And most of the time, when you're being very cognizant of continually improving, it's not price that's the problem. It could be their perception of value. It could not be there to make them want to buy. But oftentimes, it's how the proposal is presented to them, how long it took to get the proposal. Maybe they had an expectation that it would take no time to get, and it took a long time. And rightfully so. They just didn't have that expectation at the very beginning. I want you to get obsessed with this because you're going to discover ways that you can improve. Or even, I love with Disney, with their theme parks and the Disney destination team, they're trained to sprinkle some pixie dust, and I think that that is such a good visual for you to think about. Where can you sprinkle some pixie dust in your booking pathway? So that's a part of the blueprint because, hey, it's wonderful if you can market your business, you can sell, but what's your service delivery? How can that be better? All right, the final step in the blueprint is, and I realize, guys, if you're looking at this and you see that I've got a big, an arrow coming up from people take their clues in step 2 to stick around, that arrow is pointing in the wrong place. So, yay, a typo. I'll get that fixed, but I'm just saying it's a weird thing. I got arrows all over the place here. I guess I got arrow happy. I don't know. Step 5 is turn up the volume. Do more of what's already working on purpose. Okay. This right here, guys, this is a step that most advisors do not sit with. Okay. And I'm telling you this, I know it for a fact. And just a little history about me. When I joined the travel industry, our company, we had retail agencies across Texas, Tennessee, and Virginia and Ohio. So I know what it's like to operate in an agency as well as work with thousands of independent agency owners and advisors. And I'm going to tell you the truth that there are people that do this, but most people don't. So do more of what's already working. So right now, those of you who are in business, Clay's just getting started. So I'm going to give him a break here. But do you know not the average sale for your agency? Do you know the average commission per booking? What are you going to do with that information? Not knowing your numbers is super powerful, and you would be amazed at the decisions you make once you are clued into your numbers. So if you don't know, because yes, you can sell high ticket items all over the place, but if you are not making the money to support all the time and effort, then you need to make some changes. You need to think about that a little bit differently, right? So today, could you tell me if I asked you, and I am asking you right now, but you don't have to put it in the chat. If I asked you right now, we were one on one, and I said, "What is your average commission per booking?" If you can't say that to me, then I would go and do back of the napkin maths and figure that out because there's nothing you're not going to go and do something immediately different, but it is going to inform your decisions going forward. And it's that is very, very powerful. Okay. Now, in particular, for turning up the volume on you, if you know the average commission you make per booking, then you can decide on what you'll invest to get one new client. Think about that. So, yes, we can do ads, we can do and that's part of it, right? Like what are you going to spend to get your clients? But when you start to know what how much you make per booking, you can decide, is it worth it for me to send a pecan pie from Savannah Sweets kitchen in Georgia to woo a potential client? because that pie might cost me and shipping, I don't know, I'm going to say $30, right? But if I am going to make $300, then that's worth it to me, right? And you can also look at how much time it takes in consultation. You could do that. But I love if I know how much commission I'm going to make per booking, I know how much I'm willing to spend to make that booking or to get that customer. So that right there is very, very powerful information. I want you to know what your average commission per booking is. I think that's going to really empower you, but it will also tell you how much could you spend comfortably, because I don't want you to spend money that you don't have to make money. This is what you're willing to invest in order to get a client. So think about that. Think about where that comes into your world, and everybody's going to be different, but depending on you might each your commission check might have a comma in it. So, if you're talking to somebody and there's a way that you can, when you finish that conversation with them, you could send them that pecan pie. I'm just using that because I love to send those. Um, that is going to make you stand out versus an advisor who's not going to do something like that. And that $30, I'm not going to feel it if I'm making a commission with a comma. So, just saying, powerful information. Um, I also want you to double down on posts that drive those trip ready signals. That's going to be those posts that you discover that you get somebody to reply back and say, "Hey, I want to talk to you," or you start to notice that a certain style of content that you do is getting more people to fill out those inquiry forms or schedule time with you. So if you've discovered that through all that content you're making, do more of it. Figure out ways that you can do that even better. Create those events that create inquiries. The webinars are a great one. I know that Viking will, if you work with your Viking rep, they will help you put on a cruise night where they'll even invite clients or potential clients to the event, ones that aren't even, as long as you are trained up and ready to take those inquiries. Many of those BDMs will help build a night with you. So create more events like that. You do one and you figure out what works, what maybe you would do differently, and do more of the good stuff. And then look for those partnerships that send you great clients. If you know who a good client look like, what they look like, what they sound like, what they're into, if there's a local business that you do business with that can support you in sending clients your way, maybe it's a wine store, maybe you've got a connection to them. I actually know quite a few advisors that's how they've built a group business, is through local wine stores or local wineries. So there's quite a lot of options, but it's all about turning up the volume. How can you find more clients? How can you win more deals? You have to be intentional about it, and this is the culmination of the Thriving Travel Advisor Blueprint. So not bad for a vacation project. I think. I hope that you love this. I hope that this helps give you a blueprint for how you can work on your business and truly build a thriving business with some structure. Like I said, I'm so tired of people saying, "Well, when should I post? When should I send an email?" The best time to do it was yesterday, guys. Just get out there and do it. But I do know that having some structure, knowing how many long form posts you need to create or long form content you need to create, knowing that you need to create webinars, um, I know that that is helpful. So don't think I'm just being sassy. I do know that I get sassy, but it's because success does leave clues, and everything that I've talked about today, everything that I put into this blueprint is based on what I have seen out there. And it's going to look different for you. I know it is. I know it is. I just know that if you really are intentional and cognizant of all these steps and executing these ideas, you're going to see movement, and that movement is going to fuel your momentum. And when that happens, it's like I always feel like there's so many times in your life where you're sitting on the bank of the river and you're looking down at the river and it is just moving, right? It's just moving. And some people just look at the river and they're like, "Look at that river. Look at that river. It's pretty." In my life, there have been times where I've stood too long looking at this pretty river. And now I just want to say, jump in because that river has been flowing for a very long time. It's going to take you to a new destination. And with that new destination, you're going to have learned so many things. Maybe don't jump into that section of the river, right? Maybe do it in a different place and maybe get out of the river at another stop, a different stop. Doesn't matter. You don't actually get to learn what to do and what's good and what's not good if you don't actually jump in the river. So I'm always going to go back to get going, then get smart, then get good. Don't do it out of order because you can spend a lot of time overthinking every little step and it's only preventing you from actually seeing what works and improving upon that. All right, with that said, I got some TMs there. Thank you for that. TM back at you. Guys, so grateful that you joined me today. I will be back next Saturday, and that's the last show for the year. But I will be back in January. Don't worry, I'll be back in January. Please join the Facebook group and let me know if you like the blueprint. Let me know if you have any questions about that, and and chat with other travel marketeers in the group. Right, but please, 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 uh, take care of yourself so we can take care of each other. And you know what? The magic is in getting going. The magic is in getting going. So see you next time. Take care. Bye, guys.